All right, this video is to how to do the inner CV constant velocity joint boots on a Subaru. This is a 2003 early model, but I love her and I really couldn't find anything on YouTube. It's a little different design from the other one that's on YouTube that talks about changing out the CV boots. Mine's got the pin, and so there's the tools. Don't really need all of those tools. Might do some belts today too, but definitely some of the key tools are the small little nice electrical screwdriver for prying off the retainer bands. Here's the factory retainer bands I got when they gave me replacements. They really suck. You don't really want to use those. You want to reuse the old ones like the other guy in the video said. They're way better, so check out his video. He's absolutely right. You, of course, need a nice 90-degree little puller of a snap ring puller. Definitely you need the wrenches. And my Haynes manual, the thing about it did is if you follow it step by step, you're going to do a lot of work you didn't have to do, because if you take notice, the guy talks about changing the boots and he has the entire axle on the bench. Man, you do not need to do a lot of work to take it out on the bench. You want to leave it installed. We already did the driver's side boot, and we did a lot of stuff that you didn't have to do. For instance, you don't have to take off this big retaining nut here, because you're not going to do anything there, with that. You're only going to try to have to remove these two here. Of course, you want to mark your camber and all that, because like the other video says, that is the adjustment of the toe in, toe out, all that camber stuff. We took the knuckle off the steering. Probably don't even need to do that. Just these things will give you enough play. Of course, you're going to need to support it with a jack, which I didn't know. My buddy is real good with cars. You support it underneath here with a jack to relieve it as you pull those bolts out. And then we'll do more video here as we get started. But just wanted to show you some of the stuff. Definitely put it up on jack stands. I did not put it to the arrow points where you put your normal jack. I put it on the subframe. And also, when I use my floor jack, you know, the guys say, hey, jack one side at a time. Problem with that is when you try to get to the other side, it's all crocked and stuff. So you really need to find a part, maybe use a piece of wood, 2x4s or whatever. If you can kind of find a place to jack it all at once, it'd be a lot, probably a lot safer and a lot better. But I'll leave that to you as a Subaru owner to know how you want to jack it up. But in the future, I'm going to find it and spread the load with the 2x4s or some dunnage, and then jack it with one time, and then I can put my jack stands under. All right, this is the side that was done. You really can't see it, but more to come, and we'll make it a quick video, as quick as we can, so you can get started and know not to do all the extra work in the Haynes, and also to give you some insight into what it's like with the real earlier model Subarus. Thank you. So me and Paul started on this other side, and we ran into the issue of the exhaust system. You really can't see it too much from above, but there it is. There's an access issue, but in order to drive the pin out, we came up with our punch that is just a little bit over the pin size, and we used a 1/4-inch socket, slid the punch down in there, and used an extender, and that gave us the reach we need from the ground area to remove the pin. Got the pin out. Now we're just going to try to reuse the clips and opening them up so we can get the clip off that retains the boot. You can see we removed the top bolt on this steering arm, and don't need to remove the bottom one. That gives you plenty of play in the movement. As you can see, Paul kind of just moving it there, showing you plenty of play to slide that axle out from the end into the transaxle engine part. More to come. Okay, so wow, man, Paul did a great job. Even with the interference, a little bit of the exhaust up in there, we were able to get the cup off. Here's the cup, and that's held on by the pin that we drove out earlier. There's the old boot. These bands that they used previously were not like the other side, so it's kind of strange. Don't know why the other sides were like lockable, and these were not, so we cut those off. The difficult part was actually seeing the retainer ring. It was a blind remove. Paul just kept trying, felt it, got it off. And so blind removed, but I have an inspection mirror that in theory you can get, but it was all able to be gotten from underside, so we didn't have to approach from the top. And don't know if you can see the splines way up in there and all that. But so yeah, a little further along, we got the clocking of our universal joint. The bearings will fall off sometimes, but just make sure you got the same clocking, because you're going to want to absolutely put it back in the same way, in the same housing ports for each of the bearings, because obviously they've worn the metal in to this specific bearing, and you're going to want to match that up. So now we got to just put the new boot on. I'm going to try to I've got a nice tool that will just do, these are stainless steel tie wraps essentially. I've used them before, and it's about an $80 hand tool that will tension it and cut it. Same width, same pretty much thickness, so I think it's going to be easier. We just put these stainless steel tie wraps on as opposed to these factory ones. Now we're just going to grease it up, put it back together. Okay, so he was able to get it installed from below, the snap ring, all that. I guess, Paul, was that a blind install on the snap ring?
No, I could see it, put it back on.
Okay.
You can put the snap ring on the pliers and you just put it in there.
Okay, all right. So everything was able to be done from below. That was good news. And just tensioning up that bolt on the control arm. It's all together. I wanted to use, I'm trying to find my tool, tensioner tool for this stainless steel tie wraps I have. We've already did slip the factory ones on, but I think it needs a special tool, and we might have to run to the store to get it. But all together, and gee whiz, man, this side, now that we know what we're doing, didn't undo a lot of stuff we didn't have to. A little over an hour. Got a new CV boot on the interior done on the side that even has interference with the exhaust system, but able to reach around there and get it done. All right, so what we did is we actually did use those, I found the tool, and we used those stainless steel tie wraps, and with the special tool, Paul's tensioning it up right now. You can get in on it, and real nice and tight. So job's finished, just a little bit over an hour when you know what you're doing. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Paul.